Hello everybody. In this lecture, we'll study about the thyroid gland. So let me tell you, this is the portion from class 11th biology, and the chapter is chemical control and coordination. And this is a very small topic in that chapter, but a very influential and an important one, the thyroid gland. So basically, first let me tell you that we'll be discussing the NCERT, and we'll be going through around NCERT only. Okay, so we'll not dig much deep inside the thyroid gland, but sufficiently well to cover the NCERT and above it. Okay, so this is a lecture about thyroid gland and a bit about parathyroid gland and its location. So let's start. Thyroid gland. So let me tell you first, this is the ventral part of your body. This entire plane is the ventral part of your body. And same goes with the back one. The back plane is this plane is the dorsal side of your body. So the ventral and the dorsal side, and this is the lateral side. So we are concerned with the ventral and dorsal side. So as I told you that the thyroid gland is situated in the neck region of the body. Okay. So here are the diagrams which are representing the thyroid gland, the ventral side of the body and the dorsal side of the body. Okay. So this is the vocal cord. The vocal cord. The vocal cord is nothing but these are a set of cords which are situated inside the sound box, which is known as larynx. And this is also present in the this is also present in the neck region of the body. Okay, so just below it is the position of thyroid gland on the ventral side of trachea. So you can see this is the ventral side. This is the ventral side. This is the ventral side, and this portion is the thyroid gland. This entire portion is the thyroid gland. Okay, I have shown it very peculiarly. Okay, just to focus on the thyroid gland. This is the trachea. Okay, and you can see this part of the thyroid gland is covering the trachea. Okay, so basically there are two lobes of thyroid gland. The two lobes of thyroid gland, lobe 1 and lobe 2, and this is joined at the center part of the ventral side. Here you can see this part, and this part is joined by a flap of connective tissue. Mentioning it again, this part is joined by a flap of connective tissue which is known as isthmus. Okay, so this part is here is a flap of connective tissue, and this is isthmus, and this is joining both the thyroid glands. I'm repeating side by side and continuously because these things are mentioned in the NCERT line by line. So please focus on them. This is the basic chart about the thyroid gland, and everything is mentioned on this board, but I'll be explaining everything and how everything is connected. Okay, so this is the ventral part and this is the dorsal side. Same thing, this is the ventral part and now this is the dorsal side. Okay, so the dorsal side, you can see that at the dorsal side, this is the back side of the body. If you see somebody from the back, the thyroid gland are not connected at the back side. Remember, they are never connected at the back side. They are only connected on the front side by a flap of connective tissue, which is known as isthmus. Okay. Now this is the back side of thyroid gland, and the only motto to show the back side of thyroid gland are two things. First thing is that this is never connected. This is never connected on the dorsal side, and there's presence of another gland which is known as parathyroid gland. Okay, and these are situated at the back side of the thyroid gland, and they are 4 in number. I repeat, they are 4 in number. Okay. So now this was the situation of the thyroid and parathyroid gland on the dorsal as well as the ventral side. These two diagrams are very important because they are the only two diagrams which are in the NCERT, and they have been mentioned and named accordingly. Now let's discuss about the thyroid gland. Okay, what is the function of thyroid gland in your body? Okay, and what is it actually? Okay, so obviously thyroid gland is an organ. Okay, and it is the largest gland of the body. Wait a minute. The largest gland of the body is liver, okay? But thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland of the body, okay? So these are the two separate questions and which can be asked, okay? The liver is the largest gland of the body, but the thyroid is the largest endocrine gland of the body, okay? Clear? Let's move on. Now, the thyroid gland. So basically this thyroid gland is made up of two basic structures. Okay, so two basic structures, and which are thyroid follicles and stromal tissue. Okay, I'll repeat. The thyroid gland is made up of two basic structures: thyroid follicles and stromal tissue. Okay, so basically, what are the follicles? These small, minute changes you can see here. These minute differences between every cell. Okay, every cell is separated by a boundary over here. These are the follicles. Okay, but we are talking about the internal structure and everything. So thyroid is made up of follicles, and then there is space between these follicles. Okay, and that comprises of stromal tissue. Okay, now thyroid, although I have only mentioned these two things over here, the thyroid follicles and stromal tissue, but there is also another cell which is slightly, and this is the last line of NCERT in the thyroid gland, which is mentioned that there is another cell present between the follicular cells, and that's why they are named as parafollicular cells. That's why they are named as parafollicular cells. Okay, so basically we'll talk about the parafollicular cells lately. Okay, but you have to know that the thyroid is composed of thyroid follicles, okay, stromal tissue, and then there are other cells between the follicular cells. That's why they are named as parafollicular cells. And this is it. These three basic things. And these two things are mentioned in the NCERT boldly. Now, moving on. Follicles. Okay, so follicles. What? Follicles are made of, obviously, follicular cells. Okay, these follicles are made up of follicle cells. And these follicular cells, now this is the basic thing. This is very important because these follicular cells synthesize two hormones. Okay, these follicular cells secrete two substances, which is, if you open the NCERT, the name is given in it. Okay, T4, which is tetraiodothyronine. Okay, T4, which is tetraiodothyronine, and T3, which is triiodothyronine. Okay, so these are the two hormones which are secreted by the follicular cells of thyroid gland. Okay, now very important, I've circled T4 and now I'll mark it as star because T4 is very important, because T4 is only known as thyroxine, which we know at the very basic level that thyroid secretes thyroxine, but it doesn't only secrete thyroxine, it secretes a lot of things. Okay, but this is a very important portion because T4, tetraiodothyronine, is known as thyroxine. Okay, and then there is triiodothyronine, which has its own significance. The only significance you need to know about T3 and T4, or the only difference you need to know between T3 and T4, is it contains 4 iodine molecules. Okay, 4 iodine atoms actually. 4 iodine atoms, and it contains 3 iodine atoms. That's why they are named as tetraiodothyronine and triiodothyronine. Okay, now another difference is that thyroxine is less metabolically active as compared to T3. Okay, so T3 is more metabolically active. Remember, T3 is more metabolically active always. It is mentioned in the NCERT and it's very important. Okay, and then another important thing about this entire portion is iodine. See, T4 is very important because it is tetraiodothyronine, and this is also known as thyroxine. But iodine plays an important role as well in the functioning of thyroid gland. Okay, and that's why we use salts which are rich in iodine, And this is the only reason, so that there should not be deficiency of iodine. Because if there is iodine deficiency in your body, if you're suffering from any iodine deficiency, it will first and foremost affect the thyroid gland of your body. And you might be thinking that, okay, it's just affect the thyroid gland and it will suppress the thyroxine. Okay, you are, but now we'll jump on to what are the functions of thyroxine, and then you'll realize how important is iodine for the working of your body, not just thyroid gland. Okay, so iodine is very important, and if there is deficiency of iodine in your diet, so it will affect the thyroid gland. So we need to learn about how it affects the thyroid gland. In basic, it's given in NCERT in 2 to 3 lines, and I'll not take much effort to explain it because it's simple and it's understood. So deficiency of iodine leads to hypothyroidism. So I repeat, deficiency of iodine leads to a condition called hypothyroidism. Okay. Remember, just deficiency of iodine is not responsible for hypothyroidism, but deficiency of iodine is one of the factors which can cause hypothyroidism. Okay, so and this hypothyroidism hypothyroidism is a phenomenon. Okay, but the disease is called goiter, and this is the first disease which is related to hypothyroidism. Okay, we jump onto this effects of thyroxine, if it is low in your body or it is high in your body. Again, we'll discuss it. But for now, you need to know that iodine is very important, and its deficiency can lead to hypothyroidism, and this is a phenomenon. Okay, hypothyroidism, but the disease which it will result in is simple goiter. And simple goiter is nothing. This entire thyroid gland will swell in 2 to 3 or many times in size, and this will enlarge. This entire thyroid will enlarge to a place, and your entire neck region will be swollen. Okay, so this was iodine deficiency, and this is very important. Iodine deficiency, because this is required for functioning of thyroid. Okay.